So there are just 2 races left in the day. The X30 Senior qualifying heat for groups C and E is next. Danny Curl will start the race from the inside line of pole position with Camille Proteau, race winner from earlier on as well, on the front row of the grid. Danny Curl and Camille Proteau hoping to add 1 more to their tally. Rens van Pelt from 3rd position though on the inside line. The Belgian should be strong with the Estonian Siim Liedmaa in with the mix as well. Then it is Carlos Saval and Eli Goldstein hoping for better luck than he's had in the last 2 races. He's got the speed, but has he got Mechanical Simpatico with the car? Then it's Thanapongpang Sutumnu and Noah Ruvers on the 4th row from Kamil Donic and Pierre-Francois Doriani. Then it is Kilian Belair along with Etienne Chely, Jana Gouvarts and Jacob Ang. Then Juan Carlos Hernandez Ruiz on the 8th row along with Niels Kulen, Corentin Pelletier alongside Isaac Valtonen. And then in the top 20, it's an all-British row 10 with Louis Westover and Angus Mulsdale. Then it is Ross Hayes of Ireland from Martin Hebet of Belgium. Masatora Wada, the Japanese star, with Robin Knutson on the 12th row of the grid from Sweden. The Dutchman, Rivaldo van der Westerleken, and the Finn, Valtteri Valkjärvi. And then we have the Swiss stars, Stefan Planchamp, with the Brit Rufus Hunt. And then another Dutchman, Kevin Stahauer, from Leonardo Paniautu of Great Britain. And then the Spaniard, Manel Golofratorne. So in a matter of seconds, they'll be going out for their last heat of the day, which will set the grid for tomorrow's pre-finals and finals, and we'll figure out who is going to be in the last chance races for tomorrow morning as well. And out we go onto the grid, led out by Danny Curl. Another exciting race in prospect from the X30 Seniors for qualifying heat CE. Danny Curl and Camille Proteau on the front row, then Van Pelt, Liedmaa, Saval, Goldstein, Sutumnu, Ruvers, Donic, Doriani, Belair, Chely, Gouvarts, Ang, Hernandez Ruiz, Kulen, Pelletier, Valtonen, Westover, Mulsdale, Hayes, Hebet, Wada, Knutson, van der Westerleken, Valkjärvi, Planchamp, Hunt, Stahauer, Paniautu and Golofratorne. 31 drivers, their last chance to keep themselves out of the last chance race and book themselves an automatic place into the front end of the field. But from here on in, things could get very tricky for those who don't make it, and they know what failure here will mean. It'll be last chance tomorrow, and it'll be now or never for them at that point. But Danny Curl has won 2 races so far today. Camille Proteau has won once as well. So it should be a really interesting challenge and a very interesting battle as the racing progresses. But Danny Curl and Camille Proteau on the front row of the grid from Rens van Pelt and Siim Liedmaa, with Carlos Saval and Eli Goldstein, Thanapongpang Sutumnu and Noah Ruvers, Camille Donic and Pierre-Francois Doriani in the top 10. So it'll be an interesting one as the drivers battle away for position. They will have it very tough because every one of these drivers will want to finish their day on a high. And I think once again it's going to be a test for the drivers on the inside line as to how well their race can go. For Danny Curl, Rens van Pelt, Carlos Saval and Thanapongpang Sutumnu, this is where they really need to make the start count on the inside line. And it looks as though they are forming up just after turn 6, so on the way to turn 7 and 8. So that's a very tight position to be starting off the race from. They will start to bunch up into their 2 rows, Danny Curl and Camille Proteau, Rens van Pelt and Siim Liedmaa, Carlos Saval and Eli Goldstein. A lot of people here will be wanting Goldstein to have better luck than he has had so far. Goldstein has definitely had a tricky start to the race meeting. He's definitely had the speed to run at the front, and he's got that steely nerve and gutsy determination, but the kart has let him down on a couple of occasions already. So you've got to hope that this is going to be the making of a better comeback drive from Eli Goldstein. We'll see how he goes, but he's already had 2 races of severe disappointment. Hopefully this time it will go his way. But from the front of the grid, it's going to be a tough one. Curl, Proteau, Van Pelt, Liedmaa, Saval, Goldstein, Sutumnu, Ruvers, Donic and Doriani, and then the rest of the field intact. It looks as though the 289 actually went off the track there. Ross Hayes in his bid to get into his track position. They come out of the final turn, they raise their revs, the lights will go out, and we're racing now, and it's a cracking start from the inside of the grid. Curl and Van Pelt go through to 1st and 2nd. Proteau is there in 3rd place. Magnificent start from Danny Curl. Rens van Pelt sorting himself out nicely in 2nd place as the karts sort their way through turn 2 into 3. That's where things could get a little bit scrappy. Out of 4. but through the double apex and onto the back straight, up towards turn 6. Rens van Pelt has got him on the break now. Danny Curl is going to have to defend into 6 by the look of it, or certainly hold his natural racing line and hope that Van Pelt doesn't come through. But Van Pelt is right there in 2nd place. Now let's not forget, a few weeks ago it was Rens van Pelt tucked up behind Dean McDonald in the mix a little bit earlier on, and a few weeks ago, and Van Pelt had an engine failure as he was battling away with McDonald. Hopefully that kind of bad luck is not going to strike twice, but it's a great battle for Danny Curl and Rens van Pelt in the early stages. Up to 4th place, that looks like Carlos Saval has come through into P4. So Saval is right up there. Camille Proteau in 3rd place, trying to get one over on Rens van Pelt, but a cracking start for Saval as they come across the line. Curl is your leader, 2nd place Van Pelt, Proteau, Saval, Liedmar, and Nanganapong Pang Satumnu. Up on the inside comes Van Pelt. He takes the lead from Curl. Can Proteau get through as well? No, he can't. Good defensive driving from Curl. But Rens van Pelt is through into the lead. Then it is Carlos Saval, Sim Liedmar, Nanganapong Pang Satumnu, Ruvers, Shali, Goldstein, Donic, Duriani, and Kilian Belair. 13th place, it looks like Niels Kuhlen, then Hernandez Ruiz, Isaac Valtonen, Gouvards, Ang, Pelletier, Mulsdale, Westover, Hayes, Hebet, Galof Vertorne, Robin Knutson is 24th place, then Wada, Blanchard, Stahauer, Van der Westerlaken, Valke Jarvik, Panioto, and Rufus Hunt finds himself down in 31st at the back. But through comes Rens van Pelt, leading the race with Camille Proteau, now in 2nd place ahead of Danny Curl. Curl's going to try and go straight back onto him. Well, Curl is going to work with Proteau to get further forward. Saval is 4th, Liedmar is 5th, 6th is Nanganapong Pang Satumnu, and then Noah Ruvers is there in 7th place. That's the train as they go down the straight. But Rens van Pelt, the Belgian, has the lead. And it's a cracking start from his point of view. It's where he wants to be. Danny Curl's not going to make the move. Nanganapong Pang Satumnu does go for the move on the inside of Sim Liedmar and has to back out of it. The Thai driver deciding it's not going to happen, and he surrenders the move just at the right moment. Oh, we got someone breaking down at turn 3. We've got an off at turn 3. Somebody is out of the race at 3. I'm not sure who that is that's not come through. I'll try and pick it up, but it looks to me as though we've had, I think that's Ross Hayes, the 289 has not come through. So Ross Hayes looks to be out of the race. That is a disaster for the Irishman. And Ross Hayes is now out of the race. That is such a shame. Danny Curl back into 2nd place now, in front of Camille Proteau, and Sim Liedmar having got past Carlos Saval. So Proteau remains in 3rd place. Up to 6th place now, in front of Nanganapong Pang Satumnu has come Noah Ruvers, the Belgian. So Ruvers has come through, then comes Eli Goldstein. So it's a great battle at the front. But Rens van Pelt leads the way from Curl, Proteau, Liedmar, and in 5th place Carlos Saval. Ruvers is 6th, then it is Nanganapong Pang Satumnu, Eli Goldstein, Etienne Chili, and Kamil Donic. Great racing here at Salbris, as we always expected it would be in the Senior X30. Rens van Pelt trying to get away. Fastest man on the track is Angus Mulsdale for Fusion on a 1:02.622. Sim Liedmar and Carlos Saval have both got past Camille Proteau now. I wonder if Proteau is struggling now in this procession. He's really struggled, and he's not quite had the sort of pace he wanted from this one. Into lap 4 we go, and Rens van Pelt is still leading, but he's being chased now by Danny Curl. Curl has been released in 2nd place, and he's chasing down the Belgian. Danny Curl is not giving up yet. A nice dive on the inside there to claim the position, as there's a bit of a squabble further back in the pack. Several drivers battling away for the place. Rens van Pelt leads, Curl 2nd, Liedmar, Saval, Proteau, Rulans, and then it is in 7th place Eli Goldstein. Lots of overtaking moves being made as drivers are getting shuffled through the pack. Back up on the inside, that is a move for, if I do my maths right, that is a move for 9th position. So that, I think, is Kamil Donic making the move on Kilian Belair. But Danny Curl has taken the lead at the right moment from his point of view. Up in at 6, he makes the pass on the race leader. And that is Danny Curl. Now, I think Robin Knutson may be in trouble, as he's suddenly showing up as leading the race on the transponders, but that's not right, as Danny Curl is leading it in front of Rens van Pelt. So I'm not sure what's happening for Robin Knutson, but it looks to me as though there's a bit of a difficulty there. It has now been corrected. But Camille Pretot has gone fastest in the first sector, fastest in the second sector, and he's trying to shake off the attentions of Carlos Saval that he's just got back through. So Curl, Van Pelt, Liedmar, Pretot and Saval. Van Pelt has a look at Danny Curl. He's not close enough yet. So it's still very close battling at the moment. But Sim Liedmar in third position is trying to close up on Danny Curl and Rens Van Pelt. He wants a victory. Fastest driver on the track, Camille Pretot. There's a 1:02.183. We're going to get into the 61s very soon. As the racing continues, we've got a couple of drivers in trouble down at the back. There's a bit of damage to two karts. I have a feeling a mechanical flag's about to come out for Leonardo Paniautu. He's had an incident there with Kevin Stahauer. So the two of those are now down at the back of the field. But Danny Curl leads Sim Liedmar, who's got past Rens Van Pelt. I was so busy watching who it was down at the back of the field. I didn't notice Liedmar getting through in his second place. So Rens Van Pelt third. Pretot is right there with him. Carlos Saval in fifth place. They come across the line and there's 5 laps to go. And no surprises, the 3:15, Leonardo Paniautu is going to get a mechanical flag. And that's because he's dragging his bumper behind him. You can't really see that at the moment, but his race is going to be over. And look at the battle for the lead. It's a gaggle of 5 as they come off the turn. Curl, Liedmar, Van Pelt, Pretot and Saval. Camille Pretot, fastest on the circuit, 62.0. Sim Liedmar, second place. Tucked up behind Danny Curl. Rens Van Pelt third. Fourth is Camille Pretot. Carlos Saval is in fifth. Pretot trying to have a go at Rens Van Pelt there. Didn't make the move stick. Curl runs very deep out of 10. And that's going to give the Estonian Sim Liedmar ammunition to go for him up towards 14. Is he going to make the lunge? No, he's not. Pretot's having to move to cover Carlos Saval. He almost drifts into the back of Rens Van Pelt's car. He's gesticulating furiously to Carlos Saval. Help me, help me. And there's contact further back. 2 karts have gone off on the far side there. So 2 more karts in the wars. They're out of 13. And that's ended up in a bit of a mess. We'll have to figure out who has gone where there. But it's not ended up good for the drivers who have been involved in the incident. Now Sim Liedmar takes the lead. Liedmar gets through on Danny Curl. The Estonian hits the front as Eli Goldstein has now moved up into P6 and is starting to chase after the top 5. With 4 laps to go, he may still have a part to play in this. Now I'm just trying to see who it was that got caught up in the incident a little further back. 2 karts down the order. I want to try and find out who it was that went off there. It looks to me as though it was Jacob Ang and Jana Gurvarts. So problems for Gurvarts, who was the 7th seeded driver coming into the series this year. But he's had an incident, I'm afraid. Sim Liedmar still in front of Danny Curl. Up the inside comes Camille Pretot and gets the move on Rens Van Pelt. Carlos Saval can't capitalise, and that's going to get Eli Goldstein just that little bitty bit closer. So Sim Liedmar, the Estonian, leads with 3 laps to go. Danny Curl second. Camille Pretot third from Rens Van Pelt. Carlos Saval and Eli Goldstein with 7th place. That looks like Noah Rubens. So Noah Rubens is there in 7th place. Eli Goldstein's now right on the back of Carlos Saval. So the Belgian has got himself in the battle here as well with his countryman Rens Van Pelt 2 places up the road. Liedmar leads, Danny Curl second, Pretot, Van Pelt, Saval, Goldstein and Rubens in 7th place. It's still not done as Goldstein up the inside of Carlos Saval and gets 5th position. Good move from Goldstein. Now he's up to P5. Can he get onto the back of Rens Van Pelt quickly and make the move to P4? Then can he do the same on Pretot for 3rd? The Belgian, Eli Goldstein, definitely going much stronger in this race, and the luck seems to be coming his way too. If Danny Curl and Sim Liedmar start battling, then it's open season, and any one of these 7 could win the race. Liedmar, Curl, Pretot, Van Pelt, Goldstein, Saval and Rubens across the line together. It's still open season, 2 to go. Liedmar is defending from Danny Curl, and that's going to tighten up the pack. Indeed it does. Now we've got 3rd place man Camille Pretot getting close to the battle. Rens Van Pelt in 4th place. Eli Goldstein's breathing down his neck. Saval and Rubens are starting to fall off the back of it. And there's a big shunt into the tyres. A big shunt into the tyres up at turn 2. Someone's gone straight through the tyre barrier. Goodness me, that's a big shunt. And I'm not quite sure who that was, unfortunately, but somebody's gone clean off at turn 2. And the second corner, we've had an off there through the tyre barriers, and that could end up being a yellow flag at a crucial part of the race. But Danny Curl has got back through on the other side of the circuit as I was watching that, ahead of Siim Liedmaar, and that has tightened up the gaggle. At exactly the right moment, Camille Pretot is going to try and get through. Siim Liedmaar defends on the far side. Eli Goldstein's got past Rens van Pelt and is now trying to come through himself. Curl leads it. Liedmaar second, Pretot third, Van Pelt fourth. There's going to be yellows into turn two almost certainly. There is indeed his yellow flags. They can't go for the overtake. And that's Goldstein has gone for it. Yellow flags. Goldstein made the overtake on Rens van Pelt there under yellow flags for certain. Oh, what a disaster. He obviously didn't see that there was the incident up at turn two, and that's going to cost him later. Camille Pretot has dropped down the order as a result of that as well. Pretot down to fifth. Well, Goldstein is going to go for the victory on the back of Siim Liedmaar. If he crosses the line and finds out he could get docked for overtaking under yellows, he'll be devastated. But he's still pushing. Danny Curl pushing hard, trying to get away from Liedmaar and Eli Goldstein. Eli Goldstein once again tries to make a move on Siim Liedmaar. Liedmaar's going to defend. Goldstein is going to try his best to come through. He banzais down to the inside, and it's not going to happen. Siim Liedmaar's going to hold him off. Rens van Pelt's going to try and come through, but it's enough for Danny Curl. Danny Curl takes the checkered flag again. Brilliant race from Curl. Second for Liedmaar. Third for Goldstein. Fourth for Van Pelt. Fifth for Pretot. Sixth for Saval. Seventh for Revers. Eighth for Belair. Chaly is 9th, Valtonen is 10th from Kuhlen and Donich. Angus Mulsdale fights his way through to 13th place in front of Thanapongpang Satumnu. 15th place is Martin Hebert with a much better run. Louis Westover in 16th place from Robin Knutson, Juan Carlos Hernandez Ruiz, Manel Golofratone, Corentin Pelletier, Rivaldo van der Westerlaken, Valtteri Valkajärvi, Pierre-François Duriani, Stefan Plonchap, Jana Guvarts, Jacob Ang, Kevin Stuhara, and Rufus Hunt. Now, the man who went straight off at the chicane up at turn two, was the Japanese driver Masatora Wada. So Wada it was that went through the tyre barrier at turn two. And it looks to me as though he is okay. I can see him helmet off behind the tyre barriers. So Masatora Wada it was that went off at turn two. And race over for him in a rather dramatic fashion, but a victory for Danny Curl is the headline here in front of a very feisty Siim Liedmaar and Eli Goldstein. But what an end to a fantastic battle. Some drama in that race from Ross Hayes, Leonardo Paniautu and Masatora Wada retiring from the race. Wada for Evolution in spectacular fashion through the barriers at turn two. But Danny Curl is a race winner again.